Welcome to the Bronx Latino History Project. My name is Stephen Payne, librarian and archivist at the Bronx County Historical Society. And we're here with Evaristo Roman for part 9 of his oral history. And Evaristo will be talking about a variety of things. So go ahead, Evaristo, pick up where you'd like.
Because in college, there are kind of, I think, three forms of learning, right?
Yeah.
One is observational, which is me.
Yeah.
One is just by a person listening. That's me too.
Sure, yeah.
But there's some people that could pick up instructions, read them, and just do.
Yeah.
Or, like in college, that's where we were at. They used to pump in a lot into us because you got to remember, I went to a private college, Metropolitan College in New York, and we were an advanced college.
Sure, yeah.
And they used to give us 6.5 months of work in 3.5 months.
Ooh. Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So every professor wanted you to read, wanted you to do an essay, wanted you to do, we used to try to get over, sometimes we say, we had this teacher, oh my God. Professor. She says, I want you to read 2 chapters. Right? And I want single space. Essays on both of them.
Wow.
On each chapter.
Yeah.
Shit. Now, you compound that with the other, because I was taking 16 credits.
Ooh.
Within that time. Right? You graduate faster, but you gotta do the work.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. Audrey Colin. I was gonna go to them in 76 or 75. I remember. But I guess it was better that I went to them later, because I was more set in what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Of course, look at that. From there, I changed into printing quick.
Yeah.
And graphic arts and all that, advertising and all that stuff. So that wouldn't make no sense to me.
Sure, yeah.
So now it did.
Yeah.
And I thank Rico for that. When our supervisor came in, he said, you guys got to go to school.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing that I remember you mentioning after last one. You wanted to talk about green as a process color.
Oh, yeah, no, I said, I have forgotten that green is also a color that we use.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
And because graphic arts, like I tell you, I used to make my living off of doing the glass things.
Yeah.
And doing the letters and doing the astrology signs were the ones that used to go like nothing.
Yeah.
The demand was too great.
I'd like to hear about that. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you know. Okay, I used to, and I did not learn this in prison. A lot of people learned this in prison. I didn't learn this in prison. Right?
Yeah.
I learned this outside of prison. Well, I was in Commander Shea, when I was in Enter, and then I ended up having 2 fashion shows there with Latin dance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was right across the street from where the Young Lords took over that church.
Okay, yeah.
Right across the street there. It was a Catholic school. And then we brought it, not us, but they brought it out. They had it was more of an alcoholic program.
Yeah.
But they accepted people that did drugs.
Yeah.
And it was 112th Street. We had a building of about 3 floors or 4 floors.
Yeah.
And then we had, and then Commander Shea, where we went to school, we played, and we did a couple of things, because we were still relatively young.
Yeah.
So what happens is that I was really good in the photography area, and Anivan was a Cuban guy. He was married to this white girl that she used to draw good. That at one point, she interviewed for a job where I worked. I got an interview. And they came and when I worked on 34th Street, and I forgot the name of the place. It was 34th and 35th. That's big. That's how big that place was.
Yeah,
When I
yeah,
told you
yeah.
about the alcohol,
Yeah. Oh, was it
and they had like a
B. Altman's? Is that what you
no
said?
B.
Oh,
Altman was by 43rd Street,
oh, okay.
I think, if I remember correctly. Because I
Yeah.
know I remember. Thank God it's Friday used to play, and when I got my check, I said, "Whoa! Thank God it's Friday." And I brought a nice jacket that everybody loved. You know, I saved for it, but I paid a little at a time. You know, because that time, remember, I had my 2 kids, and I was with Sonia, and you know, I was just happy to get paid.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's the one I told you was a temporary job.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they wanted me to stay there. A guy, he was a young guy, man. He was nice boss. He needs to leave early, and I need to cover his back.
Yeah.
You know, so I knew how to do that, man.
Yeah.
But in any event, you know, like, I love printing. I love it. The only thing, it was too active.
Yeah.
Too active because, like I told you, on 23rd Street, and I don't know if they call this drought stitching now, but it doesn't matter because the people, I don't know if the guys are still around. I had there were 2 bosses.
Yeah.
Right? And the one that hired me, right, he had a separate dark room and the other one had a dark room, right? And I came in one day and one boss, the other one, it looked like he didn't fucking work. He used to work whenever he wanted. He had a pound of smoke in his cleaning it out.
Oh, wow.
You have the refrigerator with all different marks of beers.
Yeah.
And wine and shit like that. And then a couch because, you know, they would work and they relax and drink and work more. And I just realized one time that if I ever see him, I'll probably pop him in the mouth. You know, there was being prints on my film. I didn't do it. I used to handle it very carefully.
Yeah.
It was the other guy to fuck around. He used to sneak into my dark room and put thumbs on everywhere. And I found out, and I had his camera. I used to take a lot of pictures with cameras and everything.
Yeah.
Had I known, I probably would pop him. So it's
Yeah.
better that I didn't find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was pretty solid at that time. I was playing tournament.
Yeah.
I remember one of the guys that was the maintenance guy, he was always talking to me, everything. He called me campeón, and so when he seen that, he heard me speak Spanish. He said, you know, where you learn Spanish? That's the second time that white guys that I've hung out with didn't know I was Spanish, Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And Steve was the other one, you know, that I had his back, you know, at a point. So, damn, I lost my thought again. So, cause I get excited, and then more thoughts come into me.
No, I know how that goes.
More thoughts come.
I know how that
Trust
goes.
me, I lived a life, you know.
Yeah. Well, we started with the fashion show.
Yeah, but I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm saying right here where I was now. He called me campeona, right? So when he see me talk, he says, "Where you know Spanish?" I said, "I'm Puerto Rican." He said, "Man, you're about one of the few Puerto Ricans that were like." I didn't know that for 3 months. Now he was 3 months calling me, talking to me.
Yeah.
Then he heard me speak Spanish, you know, with the other guy, which was Panamanian or something like that. You know, so anyway, that's why I didn't go back into that field.
Yeah.
Because I remember on 34th Street, the models wanted to come do a little coke, and I said, okay, they said, you know, somehow they knew I was about the life.
Yeah.
You know, I was about dancing, playing paddleball, you know, and doing coke and all that shit that has to do with the life.
Yeah.
You know? I wasn't engrossed in it. I wasn't like when I was homeless and all that. But I used to use it, and that was a kind of a downfall because I was clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to smoke my weed and all that.
Sure, yeah.
Which now I don't get it.
Yeah.
They have to smoke blunts to feel the way we did when we smoked the little joint.
Yeah. I know. And
so that's some bullshit they're buying. Like I always tell them, you're buying horse shit because you know what? All we smoked was a little joint.
Yeah. And you'd be sky
happier than... There's a word that's a saying I say, but I can't say it because it would hurt people by me saying this. But there's a word that we're saying. You know, I remember one time they threw us out of a movie of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We were watching a movie about Christ.
Yeah.
But we were laughing. We were goofing. They were, oh my God, they want us. And then we just cracking up. Because it was real smoke. It wasn't what treated. It wasn't, you know, we would pass a joint around. Everybody would feel all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, remember that's Woodstock Days and just before the heroin came in from Vietnam and all that. Destroyed half of the world.
I know.
But in any event, there's a few things that I wanted to touch on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So could you...
Yeah, you want me to turn it off while I read some of these, or leave it on?
Just leave it on.
Okay, leave it on. So the first two things are things that will be, someplace else for, because the first one is all of your qualifications and training will be at your place for that.
Yeah.
The paddleball courts will be all around for that. Let's see. We got the green as a process color. If you want to talk about your time at NA, that's still something.
My recovery time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think. First of all, right, I started using drugs at a very, very young age, man, like 5th grade.
Yeah.
We sniffed glue before that.
Yeah.
Because everybody, a young used to do it, and then that's something I really didn't take to.
Yeah.
I remember one time on the 8th grade, we were in the 8th grade. What is South Bronx High School now was Junior High School 38.
Sure, yeah.
And we were sniffing Cabona.
Mm.
And we were passing it around. And the scent got around. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
Man, and the whole dance floor smelled like you walk by, you were getting high. So what they did was they suspended the whole 8th grade.
Oh my God! Wow.
Because even the nice girls would get... But I could show you people now that used heroin back then that you would have no idea that they used.
Yeah, everyone was doing it, I think, right?
Because that was the it thing. You see, we would go dancing and a couple of sniffs and everything like that. And we'd be nice, know. And then what happened was that, like I told you one day, I used to go from Smith, right, with Bronx Vacation, I used to go to Morris to pick up, like, maybe 12 girls or 10 girls, something like that. Well, the girls that wanted to get high. Yeah. They used to put their lunch money together, a lot of them, or whatever money they had, and I would get a bundle for $16. Right? Yeah. And that was 10 bags. So at that time they were $2. So so I would take them to my house. I'm ratting myself out now. Yeah. And I would prepare it, and then one by one they would line up, and I would. So I see more asses than. Because I told them that's the best place to hide it. That was my idea. Yeah. Because they used to eat skin pop over here. Skin pop, no mainline skin pop. Sure, yeah. So I used to hit him in the butt. So I said, all right, pull out your dress. Pull me out. I was smelling ass and smelling. And then, so when I would be late a few times, and the guys would try to move in and say, oh, I can get it for you. Nah. They didn't want to hear it. They would wait for me. Yeah. It reminds me of a time in public school 124, which we'll see. After school, we used to go into the forest projects. Yeah. Or McKinney projects, right? and the girls would line up on the steps, like in such places.
Sure.
Well, at least that's what I did. We will all be kissing with the girls.
Yeah.
Right? One day the guys were held in, and I came out. I said, "Oh no, they're not coming today." And I went to the project with all the girls.
Yeah.
And I had them lined up like that, you know, on the steps.
Yeah.
They all lined up. And I would smooch with one, then she would get in the back of the line. And I would smooch with the other, then she would get in the back of the line out. And then when they looked for me, they said, "What happened? What's that?" They said, "Well, I seen them going to the project."
Yeah.
And then they came to the project. But at that time, I had me about 4 rounds, you know what I mean, with all the girls.
Yeah.
You know, I remember them saying, Diana showed, "Who's first?" And they would make faces to see I went and picked them. I said, "Oh, you like that." You know, but these are the crazy shit because we enjoyed school, man.
Yeah.
However, we did start smoking.
Yeah.
See, we were like maybe a little more mature for our ages than I look at a 12-year kid now and where is his mind at, man?
Yeah.
Simply stuck in the boot
I know.
tube, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we were out there socializing, learning, looking at the girls, rapping to them, because everybody had a rap back then.
Yeah.
I mean, the mother of my youngest kid said, and even Sonia said, the biggest mistake a female makes with me is that she let me talk.
Yeah.
Because once I talk, you know what I mean? We were sleeping, man. Before you know, we were in their drawers, man. You know, I remember there was 2 girls that came from Queens. They were both white, but the other one, she had more of a share look, you know.
Okay,
that's the one that got with me.
Yeah.
And I can't say who the other one got with, but it was another gang member on top of me, okay?
Yeah.
Above me. And we went to my house and everything. And we used to, because my mother had a lot of rooms. We had a lot of rooms. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 sleeping rooms.
Wow.
So, you know, we went. We were playing games in the living room and then we all decided to kiss. You know. And then the other person was with never came back, but the girl I was with came back a few times.
Okay, yeah.
You know? And we just got together and did what we did. And that was just an example. We would go dancing, right? One of the first clubs that we hung out with was called, well, there was a club called The Hideaway, was in Barretto. Okay?
How big of a place was it?
It was a basement, the basement.
Okay, basement, okay. Yeah.
And then from the 310 they had a little place across the street that also they started on, you know?
Yeah.
But then the 310 was Tommy and Tony Cueva. Tommy Cueva and Tony, I forgot his last name. But they ran it because they were, I know that from my understanding, Tommy invested, between them, they invested $3,000 back then into the building.
Okay.
And they started getting a lot.
Wow, yeah.
It's a shame he got killed by some people. I really don't know. I heard so many different stories.
Yeah.
You know? But he was a great guy, man. So the 310 was a really, really nice club. A lot of people will say that the gangs ran it, but the gangs came after us.
I see, yeah.
That's the one where I tell you we were the first ones to mix the music.
Yeah, that's right, I remember.
Yeah.
Because the top floor was Latin, the
Latin,
bottom floor
yeah.
was rock.
And the top floor had a little area where you go in. The DJ was over here, was a dance floor here and everything.
Yeah.
But then to the back was a little area where you went into the back, and it had like a little stream with water.
Oh,
and
okay.
And it had like little marbles or bricks or something like that. Real nice chairs. You know, the lighting was good, and you went up there and you hung out with your girls. You know, and you did that. And I was up in the living room. In the rock room, it was just nice, man. People would go off. They had more lights. You know,
yeah.
and more crazy. And I remember where the DJ, you come in on the side, you turn like that, and then Robbie was up there like that on that side, straight across. And then they had a little area like this, and you go down, and they had like little benches that stuck to a part of the walls, and the DJ room on top, and that's where you used to get high a lot.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And one of the things that when I hear Stone Adam, that song, Stone Out of My Mind, because I remember we used to be there, and the girls used to sing that.
Yeah.
And we were here, and I remember them. One of the girls was Nelly or something. She was Sonia's friend, and she used to go out with Robert. And when I wanted to impress girls that I would take there, like Cynthia and a couple of girls, I would take them to the DJ room and show them that, I got juice here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would just go to little Ricky, and he was the DJ for the Latin room, and I would go to the side, and he was on top, and he would open the door, and I would, a little swing door, and I would go up and just help her up, and he had more space, and right there we would hang out. So you could look down and you see the people dancing. I held his equipment in my house in 163rd.
Oh, okay.
Because he used to live in Intervale.
On Intervale,
okay, yeah. And then he used to have to take it up floors. And I lived on the first floor.
Yeah.
And I lived on 163rd, so all you had to do is go up the hill. He used to hang out on our block, too.
Oh, okay. He used to hang out on your block, okay.
Yeah. He went to prison. Somehow when he came out, he wasn't the same person. And I remember he went, I used to hang out on the Paderborn courts in front of Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And I remember him, I invited him to the dance.
Yeah.
That I threw. But he was just losing it too much, man. He was such a beautiful guy, man. You know what I mean? He used to meet his girl in my house all the time because my mother left me the apartment when she moved with my sisters to 500. And, the guys used to want to come in my house. I had a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
And, and we would have the music. And he would meet this girl that was really into him, But, it's the good old days. So that was one of the first clubs, right? The Hideout, right?
Yeah.
And the one that was across the street from there was two clubs that we used to also hang out. There was on Eagle Avenue.
Yeah.
When I used to hang out on Caldwell on 156th Street, that's where a few of them, what do you call those members? I remember Dino, Oscar, that's Freddie, all of them that were musicians, and they went to Dodge. That's where Willie Colon came from.
Yeah.
Right? So, there was a club called the Cape Alegre.
Oh, okay.
Cape Alegre was right on Eagle.
I see,
And it was also on a private house in the bottom.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So right there, when you walk down on Westchester, right off the block right there on Westchester, there was the Way Out. No, the Way Out was around the corner. That was the Time Tunnel.
Time Tunnel, okay. Yeah.
And one time, we were smoking and hanging out, like drinking wine, because we used to drink a lot of wine. That was cheap as head.
Yeah.
50 cents, we would be okay.
Like what's the brand? The
Gypsy Rose,
right?
And Swiss Up, Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Those are the favorites,
Sure,
But I used to like White Irish Rose. I remember one time when they said, we were hanging out by Merrill's in the projects up there at Merrill, with Noel, a couple of the guys. Noel died, He had a fine sister. Boy, she was hot. And there was a candy store. Was it Nat's Candy Store? Yeah, I think it was. And we used to hang out. And there was To Serve With Love, right?
Yeah.
We were playing. And we had a friend called Red. And every time we put that song on, he would cry. So we used to do it just so he would cry, man. He would cry. You know, he was a light-skinned redhead type of dude.
Yeah.
Not too red, but you know, I guess he was very sensitive. You know, and I remember I was drinking with Willie and a couple of guys that lived on 163rd. And I remember we were drinking and we were sitting down right there because next to the candy store was two little stupid when we were drinking and talking. And I got up. When I got up, all I did was go, boom. I woke up 2 days later or a day later in their house.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
That's another one that I
Wow.
didn't think about writing down with the survival.
Yeah, the survival.
Because,
Wow.
man, you know, I was just, in junior high school.
Yeah. And I guess it all just snuck up on you without you.
Yeah, because I was sitting down.
Yeah.
But the minute I got up,
Yep.
I went, boom. And that's why I had a scar on the head. Besides football, I had another one. You know? So there was that club. There was, when I told you the time tunnel,
Yeah.
right? That was a time tunnel. And then we had a club around the corner where I used to buy my smoke from called The Way Out.
The Way Out. And would they play mostly Latin music or?
No, at that time, yeah, they played like Joe Cuba, and all
sure,
those,
sure,
you know,
sure.
Yes, Pito, Boogaloo, a little bit.
Yeah,
You know, but we used to buy big 5-ounce bags of smoke. They were puffed up, man.
Yeah.
And they were good. So I used to buy, that's why I said, you know, I used to buy, you know, 2 or 3 bags, right, and roll them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would get like 30 joints
Wow.
out of each bag. And then I would go dancing to a 310 and a half and sell them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have 50 cents each.
Yeah.
And it only cost $1 something, 50 cents to go in on Sundays to the dance, up to the Huntsman Palace.
Sure,
and
yeah.
maybe $2.50 when they had 10 bands or something like
Yeah.
that. Because they had 2 stages, a lower one and a top one over there. That's where a lot of them made their name.
It's a shame that it's not still around,
Yeah.
you know?
You know,
I mean, the
well,
show
it's
is
there. It's there, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not what it was because
Yeah.
on any given Sunday, there were like maybe 2,000. You know, sometimes they had to open up the other ballroom.
Wow.
Then people were dancing all around. That's where I first saw Larry Hollow, when I told you.
Yeah,
Because I snuck up, I told the guy, could I take your instruments up there? I acted like the band boy. Boom. And I remember looking at him, and he's a tall guy. He had a cowboy, black cowboy hat.
Yeah.
He had his sideburns, right? And then he had the white, he had gold earrings.
Oh, okay, wow, yeah.
You know? And then I think he was the first one with the strobe lights.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was another club called, the other day I seen the song, a little documentary with Joe Bataan and all of them, and Johnny Colon. And I remember the first time I saw Johnny Colon was in the Embassy Ballroom.
Ah, okay,
Where he played Boogaloo Blues.
Yeah.
Which was the song of the time.
Was that documentary about how Boogaloo should have been
a
popular sensation, but
yeah.
there was kind of a conspiracy against it, or...
Well, I don't know about all that.
Okay,
All I know is that was the dance, and we danced cha-cha to it.
Yeah.
See, and this is my belief that a lot of Dominicans now are doing that by cha-cha, but now I see them doing a lot of cha-cha steps into it.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I believe that came from the cha-cha.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
We were also, that was one of the clubs. But the 310 and a half was my Friday dance club.
Yeah.
You know, one club that we used to love to go to, and I don't know how I used to get into this club. Maybe I looked the part, I looked more mature, because I had older girls. And then I used to go dancing on the other places with Gina and Jenny. Those are 2 dance partners, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they used to even go in my house and help me get dressed, because I used to take longer than my sisters to get dressed. They used to call me the girls of the house, my sisters, because my hair had to be on point. Everything had to be sharper than a 2-edged blade, man. My friends even told Naomi that.
Yeah.
They said, you should see him when he was young. Because, I still dressed good
for
a couple of years before I got sick.
For sure.
When I was going, and they said, "Well, you look sharp. You look sharp," and then they got me. And then my friend Bibi said he's always been like that. Man.
Yeah. Were there particular like brands or stores that you were drawn to? Lee's. Yeah.
And then we had bell bottoms. We had some bell bottoms that are really neat. You know. I remember I used bell bottoms in Puerto Rico. At least I tried. My father, he was too, I wanted to let my hair long. Every month he had my ass right next door. They would have barber shop.
Yep.
So I didn't allow to let my hair down. I did it here when I had an Afro Shack, but that was another club.
Yeah.
310. On Mondays we used to go to the Village Gate.
Oh, okay. You go downtown, huh?
Yeah, downtown. That was to play Latin on Monday.
Yeah.
So we went down there. It was a nice place. You go. It had a nice little small dance area.
Yeah. I think
as you go down.
Mongo Santa Maria has a few recordings that he did there.
A lot. Yeah, there was a big recordings up there. Yeah, but the Village Gate was nice.
Yeah.
And it was in the village.
Yeah.
That's the place. I remember my first platforms I brought in the village.
Okay, yeah.
I brought sandals that were platform. I went to do my hair one time. I had to go haircuts, I think it was the name of the place. Something with hair, because it was real nice. Like, I had one of the first afros, but I took it off. When I was first,
That's right.
One of the first times I was locked up. And I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
The first time that I ever was taken in front of a precinct or something like that was in the projects by 156th Street and Westchester right there. We all used to have broke night, right? Because it was beautiful back then. In the summer I had a little turntable with the radio and everything.
Yeah.
I used to have a gray one with wood on the side. And I used to have my albums, right? And I would take them, and we would go up the roof.
Yeah.
Because all the rooms on Caldwell were together.
Yeah.
Like that, right? And you wouldn't see nobody else saying, where these people at? Because they had candy store, we used to hang out. We played stickball and everything down there. And when they didn't see them,
go on up,
and we had, so we broke night. And I had my friend from also, he went to PS30, Vaquero. He was a tour guy.
Okay.
He went to public school with me. He was one of the guys that was there when I was ready to fight my sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to fight to defend my sisters.
Yeah.
And I look around, and there was a lot of Puerto Ricans behind me that had my back. We were going to fight, because we used to fight the African Americans almost every day.
Yeah.
So they got respect. Until they respect, and we started integrating friendships and everything like that.
Yeah.
And the schoolyard was just made for that rumble.
Yeah.
So, and we always used to fight every time at lunchtime against 51.
Oh,
That's how I got into Torment and I connected.
Sure.
Really good, because he needs 1051. Right? So I remember there's a little park area. We were all hanging out there and doing out there and smoking and drinking. And we all kind of fell asleep and everything. Before you know it, the cops came and surprised from the crowd and picked us up.
Yeah.
And I was kind of first on line since I was the smallest. And my eyes were red. So the cop says, why you the smallest one and your eyes are so red? I said, no, I've been having problems. And then Vaquero from the back said, yeah, I was putting eye drops in his eyes. We just like if they believe that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was crazy, That's the first time I ever encountered police where I like. But then after that, it came very rapid.
Yeah.
Because they will catch you for any little shit they want to take you in. And the thing is that I didn't know, because they used to send me to the tombs. I was just a kid.
Wow. That's crazy.
And the tomb, all you see is a light here and a light there, and it's dark and a little area like that, and it's down.
Wow.
No, there's a reason why they got rid of that tomb.
Yeah.
You know? And they used to send me to Rikers Island. I was just 15, 16 years old. What you doing all this to me? I shouldn't be locked up in these places, you know? That, along with what my father did to me in Puerto Rico, was some of the beginnings, but never anything violent. It's everything possession.
Yeah.
You know, if they catch you with a pair of works, possession.
Yep. Yeah.
You know? And I'm glad that they're doing away with a lot of that nonsense because, you know, prison is an industry, man.
I know it is.
You know, because I remember getting a phone call, right, when I worked with parolees and I worked with all that, ACS cases and all that. And I remember getting called, anybody messing up?
Yeah.
Because we got empty beds at Rikers Island.
Wow. They want to fill them so they can get the money in.
Yeah, because you see, I ran against dropped the Rockefeller program a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a lot of signatures, and I really, with the Correctional Society of New York, I was a team leader with them.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things that we went about is violations.
Yeah.
Parole violations for coming home late.
Yeah.
That's a non-violent thing. Why you going to lock somebody up? Because it costs $144,000 to keep them locked up.
Yeah.
If you violate them. And then 144 million something at that time when I was working, you know, for those beds.
Yeah.
And all those empty prisons up there upstate, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was that I used to have a big letter, a big book like that, of the conditions of the prisons. Because when I used to go in there, when I was supervisor for the Asian Prison Project, I used to go to visit those prisons, and I was responsible for my clients in those prisons.
Yeah.
Make sure they got their medical services. And I would give them a letter of reasonable assurance so they could take to the board.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
3 months, so they could show them that there's a agency working with them, and that they will not go to the street because people that are positive, you know, can go to shelters.
Sure, yeah.
And these shelters are worse than prisons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that time, I don't know how they are now, but in any event, I got lost again because I got another thing. You know, it's like we were talking about the dancing part, and I got into that part because that's the way I go. My mind clicks on another cylinder, and I go there.
Your first run-in with the cops.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. So then I was getting locked up a lot. I remember one time what saved me was that I got locked up, and there was this little young kid, you know. He had that blonde hair, good-looking, green-eyed kid, and I said, "Oh my God!" I knew it was trouble, man.
Yeah.
You know, because back then when you go in, they see you go in, and they'll be picking you out.
Yeah, for sure.
They never picked me out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a little guy.
Yeah.
Somehow my mannerism and my walk.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me, you know, like,
Yeah.
You know, I remember this guy didn't want to give me my pick one time.
Yeah.
And I was running with the young lords, and I asked permission. I asked Charles for permission.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that was teaching us and running that cell block, which was 4. Because remember, Rikers Island only had 2 buildings.
Okay, yeah.
You know? It wasn't the city, the community is now, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I listened to this guy. He said, "Oh, do what you gotta do."
Yeah.
Went to ask him for a pick again. He didn't do it. We went at it. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You know, you have to fight when you have to fight.
Sure, yeah.
You know, but man, you try to avoid trouble, but you're not going to allow nobody to stop over you.
Yeah.
There's a simple question that I would ask people is, are you afraid of a smart guy or a tough guy?
Yeah.
Who would you be afraid of?
The smart guy.
Huh? Absolutely. Because a smart guy will find a way to kill you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. A tough guy, you might get some bruises.
And bruises and lumps
bloody,
and all that, but that's it. For some reason, they seem that, you know, Just like when I was in Woodburn, you know what I mean? I played it smart. I got as many jobs as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and I got out of there at record time. I didn't think I was going to come out that fast.
Yeah, I know.
But they classified me uninstitutionalized.
Yeah.
You understand? But before that, I had my little run-ins, my 2 months here, my 3 months there, you know. Always before I got 18. But as I was talking about that kid that day, you know, my mother, I think my mother was already going to Serra and getting educated on how to get me in there.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because that's the way, when I joined I remember I told you one time I woke up.
Yeah.
And I seen 2 big-ass detectives there. My sister was trying to get to me first.
Yeah.
And I was on that room, and I was first floor. I was ready to jump from the window down.
Yeah.
But they didn't allow me to do anything. They didn't, because they seen when I looked at that window, I was ready.
Yeah.
I would have jumped easy, you know what I mean? I jumped bigger places than that. Well, I jumped from the 3rd floor and I broke my leg, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, I had my ankle, really.
Sure.
And I don't think that's what broke my ankle. I think what broke my ankle is walking through the rocks.
Through the rocks, yeah.
Twisting, you know, that really 2 places. That's why I got the screws there. I mean, a lot of people say there should have been another places that they came from, but you know what I'm saying? You know, and so they took me in, and I went for a civil commitment. I signed over to the Rockefeller program, you know, and they sent me to Watts Island, and that's why I escaped from.
Oh, okay. That I see.
That's when they were doing the French Connection movie.
Sure, yeah.
Because I seen my boy Happy coming one time, and I was in the. That's what I told you where. You know, the guard liked. So I was getting my last visit, and I was with my girl.
Yeah.
You know, and he you know, so I don't want to mention her name, but she know who she is.
Yeah.
You know, and with a girl that taught me about sex, I never denied that.
Sure.
I learned sex from female.
Yeah.
And I don't deny that. You know, a lot of macho men. Oh, I know. I learned from female.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because even in the 310, when the girl was slick that I wanted to get, I used to go to the older girls that walked the streets.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, and I used to say, listen, you know, boom, how could I do this? And they told me, do this, do that, and I would work what they told me.
Sure,
and they used to work.
Yeah.
You know? But I was a very confident person. I was telling Naomi this yesterday. You know? But anyway, that time, I went and I got locked up, right? And my mother went to see me in court. God bless my mother. She was always there for me. And they were going to give me 3 years.
Wow.
And I was saying, do you plead guilty? No. Well, the judge kind of got fed up. He said, second call. Boom. So I came up in the afternoon. It must have been that what happened to that kid.
Yeah.
Because you see, the next day, his mouth smelled like sperm and all that shit. You know what I mean? He must have talked to my mother and said, don't leave him there. Because I know there was a legal aid that was the gang's legal aid back then called Popkins.
Okay.
Popkins. He was a Humpty Dumpty looking guy, you know.
Yeah.
He looked like a little bit like Abbott Costello. Yeah, but he used to go down, so he became my lawyer.
Okay, yeah.
And he said, no, we want to get him to a program called, because he doesn't have a problem. So he spoke up for me, not unlike the first one.
Yeah.
That was telling me to take a plea.
Take a plea, yeah.
For 3 years. You know, Emmanuel, I was like 16, you know? So, okay, so that's when I went to Serra.
Yeah.
Did you promise to go to, I said, yeah, I promise.
Okay, I see.
I remember one time I left Serra and I caught an OD.
Yeah, okay.
And I got 2 staff members, Adolfo Morales, and I think it was Eddie Figueroa, that went to get me at the Lincoln. You know, because I was saying, he's in the hospital, they went to get me, and that's when I got a bald head too.
Oh, that's when you got a ball
That's
head.
not my first ball head. That was my second ball head.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I was a hard little fucking guy, man. You know, they had me one time with big sneakers overalls, opening the door for all the visitors. They had to break my image, and I was tough to break.
Yeah.
So I didn't care. They used to have me clean with a toothbrush, the steps, and all that shit.
Yeah.
I had to be the first ones to wake up and the last one to go to bed.
Yeah.
I was always in the dishpan with Chihuahua. He used to run the kitchen. Me and this guy, I think Miguel, if I remember his name, we were always in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, but I was me.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to see, me. You know, because I remember this guy named Orlando. He was the coordinator. And he said, they asked him, he's a real quiet guy, real serious. And you know, and he was married to Anita Bryan. Yeah, to Bryan. And they asked him, but is there anybody you like?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I like Evaristo.
And that's it, huh?
And he said, but why you like him? I said, because he is who he is.
Yeah.
And he takes the weight. He's not a phony over here.
Yeah.
You know? He is for real. And that's been the way I've been all my life.
For sure.
You know, if I do what I have to do, and if I get in trouble,
yeah,
I pay the price.
Yeah.
You know? But I really was committed to the program, and I became very clinical.
Yeah.
You know, I used to look at Frank Morero. I like his mind, you know?
Yeah.
I like his mind. And I used to see him in groups. And I used to copy his style.
Yeah.
You know? So I used to pick and choose. I was Ramon Lopez. He's the one that did the house, the DMC by, where you said the compound, is that from?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right there, they had a DMC for the veterans.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
And I was his special project.
Ah.
So he used to come, and sometimes I'd be walking, and he'd be right behind me.
Yeah.
And he'd be yelling at me, you dingbat, you think you know everything. And he would take the intercom. Anybody know Evaristo Roman? He's a dingbat. Holy shit. But it's because he cared about me. He wanted me to do good.
Yeah.
You know? It so happened that they took him, and he became director of the DMC because he was a veteran. That's only for veterans, you know. I remember there was a guy named Archie. They chased his ass all over the place because he would try to be too strict, you know what I mean? and you know, sometimes, why was I so effective was because I understood, man. You know what I mean? I didn't try to be. I was mean.
Yeah.
You know, I took no shorts. Just like in my job. They say, if you want to do good, I'm your man.
Yeah.
But don't try to fool me.
Yeah.
Because you got to wake up real early in the morning, and trust me, I was getting up early in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, I didn't appreciate people. There were people that would come and say, listen, I drank beer, this and that. You know, on the weekend, the parties came, and some people visited me, and I drank beer. And I said, okay, I won't take your urine now.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take it at the end of the week.
Yeah.
It better not be dirty by the end of the week.
Yeah.
You understand? And alcohol is 24 hours, it goes anyway. Some drugs is 72 hours go, like heroin. So sometimes they'll try to push it, you know. Back then, now heroin will stay on you forever, for 10 days, something like that, because it's all cut with pills and all kind of chemical. The real heroin, by the time you went to Rocket Island and came back, you had a kick, you know? Anyway, so that's what happened with that at that time. So instead of 3 years, I managed to get out. The escape, I remember I escaped from Phoenix House. I told you when I went for my draft board at 18, everybody ran behind me without me knowing. The sad thing is I left that girl behind. You know? But they played me wrong and said what they did was, I don't know if I mentioned this with Dorothy, I could say the name now. when she was pregnant for me. Her family's gonna accept me finally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, and then when she came to the visit, they sent me upstairs.
I remember.
You know?
Yeah.
They made a decision for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And then when she left, I came down. And then they said that they didn't want to see me.
Yeah.
Her father was going to accept me, because this was about her third pregnancy from me. She took out 2. And this time she had like 6 months.
Yeah, yeah.
So they actually killed that kid.
Yeah.
You know? So, though I've been locked up, I went to Rich Hill. That's another one that I was locked up in. That was like a moon base.
Oh, I remember you mentioned that one before.
Yeah, you didn't hit the floor for shit.
Wow.
It was gray too, and it was like boxes.
Wow.
And then just like little bridges to another one, each that connected each building.
Wow.
And it had a like a brown tit. Shit, man. Woodburn, I did my time with Woodburn. I played it right. Because you have to think institutionalized. You know what I mean? And every time I've been locked up, I always get in the house gang.
Sure. Yeah.
Somehow I work myself. I volunteer and everything until they say, okay, join in. Until the cops said, you'll be in the house gang. You know, I tell the guys, listen, let me mob, let me do something. I have to keep active. I've always been a real active guy, okay? I don't know how we got to dancing from there, but anyway. Yeah.
Well, since you're talking about run-ins with the cops, I don't think you ran into them this time, but there's a story about Banky's gun.
Oh, yes,
if you want to talk about that.
One of the other biggest mistakes of my life was that I met this guy at Banky, and when I played paddleball, right?
Yeah.
Real good. And, you know, me and him got along real nice, you know, and he used to sell coke.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And so I used to hang out at his house. Sometimes we would go dancing together, you know, to a corso.
Yeah.
You know, which was a Wednesday dance, basically, for us, sometimes on the weekends, you know. And then they had Barney Googles down the block. Okay. And they had Wednesdays across the street, which Wednesday was an outrageous club.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's where they would do all kind of sick shit. You know
what really?
I mean? Yeah. But they didn't allow us in there. We tried one time. They said, "You too young." Yeah. So I remember. Yeah. So I was taking pills. He used to tell me, "Don't take those pills, man."
Yeah.
Because remember, they would prescribe them to me. You know.
Yeah.
And he told me, "Stay away from those damn pills." You know, and I ran into 2 guys from upstairs that I knew from, I think it was the program, or from McKinney Project, yeah. We hung, so I started hanging out there, and that was a wild house. These guys were cowboys here in Boston and Chicago. They were moving around. And they would let me carry guns and everything like that. One time, since I owe him money, I said, "Here, hold the guns."
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know what happened. They said, "Oh, where are the guns? We got to go do something." I said, "Well, some of the guns I pawned them." And he lived in the same building.
Yeah.
You know? I said, "Oh, no, downstairs here. Let's go get him." And I knocked on the door, and they just came.
Oh,
and said, "Give me the gun."
Okay, I see, yeah.
And I felt so fucked up afterwards.
Wow.
And so when I got my check, my Social Security got it, because I was always getting that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know? I knocked on the door humbly, didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I was going to get my ass kicked. I didn't know, but I knocked on the door, and he opened, he sees me. And he said, "Come on in, man." And see, I get emotional when this happens, you know what I mean? Because he was a good friend.
Yeah.
And he's still my friend now.
Okay, yeah.
You know? But he's still dancing, you know. So, you know, he says, come in. And he says, I said, I'm here to pay you what I owe you.
Yeah.
He said, you know, it takes a man to do what you just did.
Yeah.
And I told you, stay the fuck away from those pills.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I said, man, I'm not fucking with no more pills. I told him, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, he said, oh, I got a party on Saturday, but I was too ashamed to go to those parties.
Yeah.
Again, you know what I mean? So I kind of messed up a few good friendships because of my addiction.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Pancho in the Potable Courts. He also gave me some back release to sell when I was hanging around San John. I still with the money. I used to stay with people's money. I didn't get. Sometimes I just didn't give a fuck, and sometimes I didn't mean to. My addiction took me there.
Sure, yeah.
You know? However, you know, when I started playing paddleball back again in the beach after all that time, I ran into his brother Butchie, and you know, everything was good, man. I said, what's Banky? Because I kept seeing Banky like in Wild Ponds, in the dancing thing, you know? And windows over Harlem and things like that, and we still tight. You know, we care each other. I got pictures with him, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's one of the guys that seen my game.
Yeah.
I remember him saying, well, he was saying, oh, you suck. You know how people always talk trash talk.
Yeah.
He says, I could beat all of you. Maybe not Ernie, but, you know, all of you. You know, because Ernie's good. You know, because I'm an athlete. I adjust immediately. I'm a handball player, so... You know, once I picked up that paddle, that's all. The handball went to hell. I love paddleball, you know. And that's another painful situation in my life. I have many regrets, like with my sister, what I did when I just... Stupid me. How could I even think? You know, the need for the drug. I guess, look, I got my sister's keys. Let's go up there. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Knowing that she seen me walking that way, I still did what the fuck I did.
Yeah.
And that's when, I don't know if it was my brother that punched me in my eye and I was nodding like that. I guess they were so hurt too, and they punched my eye and I ended up in the emergency room. That's when they had to take, I don't know if it's this or that, I don't know. I keep forgetting. But because I'm bruised. If you see my eyes, I'm cut up all over.
Oh, okay.
Because of all the fights.
Yeah.
You know, and then also getting hurt when I was a kid doing all that crazy shit.
Sure.
You know, and I ended up in the hospital with my eye like that. I had to move my eye out.
Yeah.
And then they had to work on the bone. I think one of these two. You know, I don't know. And then they put the eye back. You know?
Wow.
That's some shit, you know? Yeah, those are the painful things.
Yeah.
That I've done, and I've done them under the influence.
Sure.
I had a conversation with a mother of my kids. I had a disturbing conversation, and I had not so long ago.
Okay, yeah.
Where she said, now she understands that I had a disease.
Sure, yeah.
She says, because you were a good man.
Yeah.
You know, I just treated you wrong because I didn't understand I didn't understand.
Yeah.
You know? Because she sees my relationship now with the person that I'm with.
Yeah.
And she says, wow. Just the other day, she said, when she heard us playing around like that, she said, why couldn't we have that?
Yeah.
Because I had dreamed with her like in 2 weeks, 3 times.
Yeah.
So my partner said, call her.
Yeah.
Because they get along just fine.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then she managed to call her, and we talked, and she said, we were talking about my son, and we were talking about, I said, but, you know, we got blessed, we got 2 blessings. Yeah, they're a blessing, but how they were conceived wasn't good. I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, no, you took advantage of me. I said, what? Dad, do you remember when we met?
Yeah.
And she says, no, I remember that. I couldn't stand you. I used to tell Rosa, keep you away from me. I said, Sonia, you're totally wrong.
Yeah.
And I said, we met. I remember I'm the one that dished you.
Yeah.
On October 12th, on Mousie's birthday. That the guy that used to say he was my brother, Little Heavy.
Yeah.
And he was dressed a lot like me. We had the same Afro shag like that. It was mini-me, you know. So, and he danced. We danced.
Yeah.
You know, he danced better rock than me, though. I danced a lot better than him.
Yeah.
So, he came and said, look, Sonny, I want to speak to you. And I was telling him. And I said, no, fuck her, man. Fuck her, man. She doesn't like me after 3 months rapping to her.
Yeah.
So she said, no. She had to convince me to go over there. She send them. No, I got to talk to her. And that we started kissing right there. And the whole party moved.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I remember Rosa telling you to walk me home. I said, yeah. Do you remember I didn't want to go upstairs?
Yeah.
You know? I said, no, you know. I said, okay, I walked you. You said, walk me upstairs. I walked you upstairs. Do you remember I didn't want to come in your house? Then, no. I said, yeah, well, you told me to come in.
Yeah.
And do you remember the couch? Do you remember the light that we had only was from the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Do you remember that I was uncomfortable? I told you, let's go to the room because with all respect, I was uncomfortable. And then, do you remember when we were kissing? Do you remember it was a full moon coming in through the top of the window?
Wow. Yeah.
Do you remember your hair looked very beautiful? She had long hair, real beautiful woman. And do you remember that when I went to have sex with you, that you said, "Oh, you made noise because you were a virgin"?
Yeah.
And that I didn't want to touch you. I said I want to go because I didn't want to touch your breast because I respect you. And that you said about fucking time and you took your shirt off.
Yeah.
She said, I said that. I said the one that was going to take advantage of you was another one of your boyfriends. He drugged you.
Wow.
Do you remember that? You know?
Yeah.
And I said, and do you remember another boyfriend of yours that I was always hanging out with your sister and you, and we were talking, and he would pull you away?
Yeah.
And let's go for a walk always?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, yes, you remember that? I said, do you remember that we went to your sister's house because the party got too big? Yeah. Really? So, you know, because he's pretty ill now, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But it disturbed me, so I had to talk to my son about it, and I still haven't talked to my daughter about it. But that was it. Those are things that just happen.
Yeah.
You know, I know I have trouble staying online because a lot of things come into my head while I'm talking. And I just speak on them because, like I tell you,
Oh, no, that's fine.
You know?
That's fine.
You know? Anyway, about the dance. She was one. I told her, do you remember ripping my shirt on me after you helped me get dressed?
Yeah.
She said, yeah, I remember because you looked too good. And while I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I said, but you helped me get dressed. And you knew I was going to go make my money in the club.
Yeah.
Said, yeah, you were going to be with all those girls and all that. So I said, that's the first time I ever laid hands on you because I had to stop you. You just went wild on me.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you taught me a lesson? Because you laid there, and when I had ordered a dog, a German Shepherd, purebred.
Yeah.
And when I was going to the club, the guy told me he had it ready. So I paid him. Got the dog and took it upstairs. I said, do you remember you were laying in the same spot? And only about 10 or 15 years ago, you told me, no, that you heard me coming up the steps and you ran back to the same position and laid down. And we both cried.
Yeah.
You know, shit. So a lot of things came back to her mind. She said, I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah.
She said, you know, because we always call. She called me the other day, too. We talked because we are good friends. And it hurts me because I told her to take a picture of Facebook.
Yeah.
She put a picture I just didn't like. And you know, and I told my son to do it and tell her, you know, 'cause I knew she was going to bark at me. You know?
Yeah.
In any event, you know, the clubs of those days.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. St. George Hotel, Ipanema, Casablanca, like I said, the Corso.
Yeah.
Colgate Gardens, Hippocampo. They had the AIDS club, but not too many people went there. Colgate Gardens, I mentioned.
Yeah, you mentioned Colgate. Yeah.
There was another club in Elda, you know, Tropicolo.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
That was owned by Carlos Ortiz. He was a good boxer in Puerto Rico, you know?
Yeah.
And he came in, that was on Longwood.
Oh,
in Southern
okay.
Boulevard.
Okay, Longwood and
So what we used to do there, we used to clean.
Yeah.
And then stay in the bathroom until the dance started.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? But we used to do everything like in Hunts Point Palace. We used to sneak in until Papa John saw me. He said, "Look, man, here, give these flyers out, man. You know what I mean?
Make yourself.
Yeah, because I know you're gonna get it. You know."
Yeah.
And that was good, but there's probably a few. The last time I saw one of them, I hung out with Roberto Joena was in Wild Palms. I got pictures with him. And with Joe Batan was in Lexington Avenue. The Epoca, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Was it the Epoca? I know that was another one club. Anyway, yeah. It was one of the long-lasting clubs that were there. I'm sure there's a lot that I forgot.
Yeah.
But back then, that's what happened to me after the gangs.
Sure.
You know, when the dance scene came, the salsa revolution came, and you know, I already went to Puerto Rico knowing how to dance salsa.
Yeah.
And when they were there, a lot of them didn't know how to dance salsa, but a few that were from New York.
Yeah.
So when we used to go to the clubs, you know, like to the big party, Puerto Rico knows how to throw parties, man. They have a party que se llama La Fiesta Patronales. And they last like a week, 7 days, and all the bands play, and the whole village goes. You know, so these are tropical islands, man. They know how to do this. You know,
absolutely.
And I always mention Puerto Rico was one of the best times of my life, man.
Yeah.
You know? And the only sad thing is that I came back with the same clothes I left. I got the, you know.
Wow.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame, but I still love my father. I told my sons that, you know what I mean? I told my sons that, even though my father knew where I was at for so many years, 49 years or something like that, never wished me happy birthday.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him face to face that I love him.
Yeah.
As an adult, you know? Because I wouldn't be here without him. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the minute my partner met him, says, "Now I know where you get your shit from." Because he came out of his mouth just the way I would.
Okay, yeah.
And then when my younger son, his wife met me, she said, "Oh, now I know where he gets it." And then about dress and sharpness is, my daughter-in-law says, "Now I know where he gets it." Because one time we were coming down, when my granddaughter was born, we were coming down, there's a big mirror, and I had to check myself out and everything like that. And she said, "Now I know where he gets it from." So, you know, like, you know, there's a study that was done in England saying that, and they taught us this in trainings because, and I think now in drivers, when you get your DWI in the trainings that you have to give now, and which I'm certified for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's called the Prime for Life now, where they go into your background, and into your social history, into who you hang out with, and all this stuff. Well, they did a study about people that were locked up and things like that over there. And they found that one of the families will either be an alcoholic, will be used, and will end up locked up.
Yeah.
You understand? And of course that happened in my setting because not with my firstborn, but with lastborn, you know. But I have learned things You know, I don't have a good relationship with him now because he disrespected my house when he came up here. You know, I love him. He's my son. I love him. I save his pictures even though he doesn't know it, you know. But like I was telling his wife, until he accepts that he was wrong, we can't have anything.
Yeah.
You know, how you going to get angry at me when you are wrong?
Yeah.
You know? And it's sad because I would like to be in his life more and kind of straighten him out a little because I know what he needs. He needs all the things I needed.
Yeah.
When my father wasn't here.
Is he in the Bronx?
Florida. My kids are in Florida and my daughter's in Georgia.
That's right. I knew that. Yeah.
You know? And the shit is that I remember crying out. I had a nice talk with my son this weekend. And we talked about it. And I said, I understand perfectly how you feel because I understood that. Because he used to say, why can't I have that? I want my mother and father together. That's what he wanted. He said, what did he do wrong? And I tried to say, Jason, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
and, you know, we love you. Do you remember this? And there's the time I took him out. Then, cause like he says, right now I'm in my grandkids' life like crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And they know that. And to show him all the love I could have given him, and I still give him. It's just that he grew up like being hard.
Yeah.
Because a lady asked me, why didn't I ever smile when I used to be with my mother, looking after my mother with the numbers and hanging out in the beauty salons where they did all the juggling. I always had a mean face. I even went dancing to the club in Elder, and this girl met me, and I was attracted to her, and we talked, and then, you know, we went to a room where they had, so we sniffed. And she said, you're a serious person, right? I said, why you say that? She said, because you got a serious face. Started looking at that. Then the lady tells me, Angelina is a good Dominican lady that really I lived with, you know, and all that. And she told me, her friend told me, pero ríete, laugh, man. Why you always got a serious face? So I understand why my son has a serious face, you know. And it's a lot of hurt in there. There's a lot of pain in there. There's a lot of unworthiness in there. There's a lot of things, you know. So like me, I had to learn how to deal with all those people. You know, like I told you, that look in the mirror stuff where I did, you know. You have to do that because that's who you are. You can't run from yourself, you know. And only then could you fix yourself.
Sure, yeah.
You understand? You can work on the things that you need to work on.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest problems was females.
Yeah.
You know, I've been with the same woman for a long time, and that would never happen before. You know, because I would sabotage every relationship.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had good females in my life, trust me. One was Nana. Nana was a great, she was good for me. She wanted me to be a physical ed teacher. She met me in Puerto Rico. She said, I will find you in New York. Sure enough, it happened like a movie type of thing.
Yeah.
But it did. So the dance scene, the salsa revolution, they were dancing like they're dancing now with 2 feet backwards, right?
Yeah.
Ending on both feet. They were dancing like that. We started dancing with our left foot up, leading the female, and ending up with our right foot back, and adding a lot of turns to it. I think some of the dancing now is very nice.
Yeah.
But some exaggeration, not the female, the guy.
Yeah.
You know, cause people that see me dance, like one guy in NA said, I like your dance cool, man. You dance. You got a flow to your dance. You know, and I always been like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been like that. It is, and I see the way these guys dance now, and I could do their steps. It's just that like I was telling the lung doctor yesterday.
Yeah.
He gave me four appointments to different places. He doesn't know I'm going to Mount Sinai with those four.
Yeah.
Because I even told him in his face. He wasn't even there when I got there. He had left. I said, what the hell he had left? I got an appointment.
Wow.
But anyway, I can't do it because my lungs, because the COVID hit me so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then the activation, which traps the food, one behind the other. But I'm in a lot better place than I was.
Yeah.
6 and 7 years ago when I had the stroke and all that. Which I couldn't even walk outside like this because of the panic attack.
Yeah, I remember that's another thing you told me you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, the panic attack. The panic attacks started basically coming after I had the stroke.
Wow.
So every time I went outside, and you know what? I was looking at it. I look at it, and I think what stunned me more was the Xanax and the oxycodone they gave me.
Yeah.
Had they not given me that, maybe the Xanax okay to help me relax, but now they didn't have to give me the oxycodone for the plane, the shoulder surgeries.
Yeah.
That I did it because they messed it up twice. And I'm still in a lot of pain. It's just I live for Tylenol. Free advertisement now. Tylenol, arthritis, extra strength.
Yeah.
Every 6 hours I'm taking that.
I see.
As opposed to taking any drugs. I can't take a drug because I'm coming off of the Sebastian because I got off of the oxycodone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on down to 2 milligrams on Sebastian. I went out. It so happened I'm having problems with my high blood pressure now.
Yeah.
So I can't do it right now, but I'll do it. You know, with this medication they just gave me, the doctor said you'll probably get back to playing.
That would be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Everybody, I just got an invitation to a tournament for May 2nd or something like that. You know, for May 2nd, I got an invitation for a tournament. I said, well, these guys are still... Because every paddleball player asks me, when you coming back? When you coming back?
Yeah.
Because like I said, they know Ernie's good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So anytime people say, well, why don't you try to just hit the ball? People ain't going to want to hit the ball with me. They want to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know? It's like... And I look and people say my age is still play on tournaments, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I would have been there. And my anger is that, you know, why didn't you give me something, you know, that you shouldn't give me?
Yeah.
And then by the time I picked up on it, I was already addicted to it.
Yeah, I know.
You know? So now I have to take myself behind all this other shit that I have going with me. You know? I had COVID on top of that. And that's what hit me in the lungs more.
Yeah.
You know, even though I by the grace of God, I came out of the hospital. You know? That's bad. That was bad, man. That was bad.
Yeah.
That's something I don't wish on nobody.
Yeah.
Even the people I would love to smack around, I wouldn't wish that on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's really bad. You know, I cried for a whole month, man, in my sleep.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
Now I was telling you, why are you crying again? Yeah, you cried again. If it's not about my mother, it's about that.
Yeah.
You know? Because I still dream about my mother. I cry, you know, I get emotional. I love the shit out of my mother, man. You know? And she was always there for me. You know, she found me in Yonkers. She found me all the way in University Hospital in Staten Island, all the way to there. She would find me any in Queens. She found me any hospital I landed in. She always made sure I had my cigarettes. And I had my money. I remember one time I went to a program in Brooklyn, a church program, and you're supposed to kick.
Yeah.
Cold. Man, the first day it was on the second floor. I snuck out the window. I snuck on the train. And she left me money there. I probably would have found a spot in Brooklyn, got high there, and came. Shit. I get on the train suffering. You don't know how many times I suffered on the train sick.
Mm.
And I would go in between the cars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I can get that air.
Yeah.
Hoping I make it to my spot.
Yeah.
You know, to get it from 96th Street especially, you know. And from when I got locked up and they let me loose, I didn't bother my mother. And early in the morning, at 6 o'clock, because I knew they had a spot open.
Yeah.
And Ma, I need that now. She would give it to me.
Yeah.
Fighting. My mother always gave me a lecture and a half before she gave me the money. Yeah, but she gave it to me. But then she wrote it down in her little book or whatever. Because when I got my check in the house, she knew what to take up.
She had your account book.
And, you know, and my sisters don't know that. They always think that, I lived off of her. No. She got her money back.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I made sure that I got my checks there.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it's not like they think. I know I have one sister that lived with my mother.
Yeah.
You understand? All her life, and then abandoned her. And I think that's what killed my mother. My nephew and her abandoning my mother.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And that is bad, you know. In any event, dancing the social revolution, the salsa revolution of New York was a great time.
It sounds like it. And there are so many clubs, you know, within a 2 or 3 block radius, even right near you.
Well,
right?
you had to pick the one you wanted to go to, according to who was playing where.
Yeah.
It so happened that the one that was pulling all the bands was the Huntsman Palace.
Yeah.
And that was a cheaper one to go to.
Yeah.
But that was on the weekend. I remember not washing my hands so the stamp won't go.
Yeah.
Changing everything else, but in a bag
Sure.
over here. Shit, that was crazy. We had so much fun, innocent fun, these kids. The females of that time were more mature.
Yeah.
They knew how to cook, clean, do every goddamn thing, and then hang out.
Yeah.
You know? And they all dressed nice. They all dressed they look like women, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They look like females. Now we're living in a society, my opinion,
Yeah.
now we're living in a society where there's very few real women. And what I mean real women is completely made without no false anything.
Yeah.
I looked at TikTok and I look at, these girls are pretty. Why do they have to do this shit?
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't need a girl with fake big boobs and fake ass.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm having sex with real meat.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, for sure. It's filler, just like the chicken in the
Shit,
stores.
man. Yeah, right? It's like, oh, shit, man. It's like one of those Burger King burgers, half cardboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm not good. I'm not with it, man. I'm not with it. There is I wrote something down. And there's something that was another tragedy that came to my mind the other day. And I just forgot it, man. It came last night. It hit me, you know.
Let me see here if I might have written it down at one point.
We're going to stop whenever you want because they're going to be 5 and it's raining outside. It's like 22 almost. Well, it's a little above.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll stop now before we
Yeah,
get.
and I'm going to have to
into
sort all
something.
these things out so I won't go all over the place. You know what I mean?
Oh no, that's fine though.